I'm Kerrie Stanley.
And I'm Dean Arcuri.
And welcome to Kerrie and Dolly's house party.
Finally.
Oh, the magic of television.
And made poof.
Yes. Well, there's a few of those, and they're all here in this room.
Oh, everywhere you look, and maybe even out there. Welcome, everybody, welcome.
Hello, darling.
I know, darling.
Darling, you're looking a little forlorn. It's not like we've rehearsed this or anything.
No, I'm very sad.
Tell me, share it, darling. Share.
I broke up with Aaron today.
Oh, no.
I know.
I don't know who Aaron
No, Aaron is my physiotherapist.
Did you break up with him or?
Well, you know when you ring up, I rang up to get an appointment and he wasn't there and I left a message. And you know when you're used to going to someone who's got the best hands in the business?
Yes.
Nothing there.
You were ghosted.
No, ghosted.
You were dropped.
And all I want at the moment is just to be manhandled, you know.
So do a lot of people.
I know. I'd a woman handled anything, quite frankly.
You mean you're desperate?
I'll do it. Well, yes. You know, I think isolation is all very well, but I need to be needed. Literally,
literally needed.
Oh,
yeah.
like the dough that I am. I need it.
Oh, okay.
You know, but not desperatly though, Kerrie. I don't want people out there thinking, but please send your suggestions. I am accepting nudes as well.
Where's that account on Instagram? OnlyFans.
Yes.
Have you set one of those up?
No, only food. No, I wouldn't dare.
Now, look, we know that there's some really serious matters going on in the world, and we certainly acknowledge them. We're not dismissing them, but for the next hour, and depends if we go over, we want to provide some light entertainment for you to just have a little break from it all. But we see and we know what's going on.
We are very much aware.
Yeah.
Very much. Now, what we need, and we do it each and every week, Kerrie Stanley,
is Judy, who sits on a slab of beer in her bedroom.
What more
Apparently.
do you need? What more do you need? Take it away, Slabby Judy.
Thanks, Kerrie. Thanks, Dolly. Good evening. I'm Judy Kelly from Joy News for Kerrie and Dolly's house party, with an optimist's bent on what's making news this week. First, some strong numbers from Australia's latest COVID-19 stats. On June 1st, Australia had conducted just under 1.5 million coronavirus tests, with New South Wales and Victoria accounting for over 500,000 tests each. Victoria's testing regime translates to 7,700 tests per 100,000 people, with 0.32 positive results returned. The Victorian Government is recruiting for Australia's first ever Gender Equality Commissioner to oversee major reforms across the state. The Commissioner will be responsible for implementing the Gender Equality Act, which became law in February this year and aims to improve gender equality in Victoria's public sector. The Commissioner will report to the Minister for Women, and applications close on June 10th. Thorn Harbour Health and the Prep Access Now Association report that Alfred Health is now helping to provide access to PrEP for overseas-born men who do not have Medicare. The Alfred's new service offers free HIV and STI screening, and eligible men can purchase PrEP or apply for a free PrEP coupon. In New South Wales, the HIV prevention organisation ACON has launched a new at-home HIV testing service. The service, called U-Test, allows men to have a virtual appointment with a trained peer to choose whether to receive the HIV self-testing kit or the dried blood spot collection kit. The new service is free, no Medicare card is required, and it's available to all men who have sex with men living in New South Wales. The arts sector, tourism and the residential building industry are the likely recipients of the federal government's next stimulus package. The three sectors are predicted to be the slowest to recover post-pandemic, and this week the government said that they are narrowing in and focusing on sectors which need the longer-term support. Queensland's LGBTI Legal Service has been allocated $1.3 million to fund their community legal centre for the next 5 years. The service has been providing free legal advice to LGBTIQ Queenslanders since 2010, and they have seen an increased number of people seeking assistance due to COVID-19. President Matilda Alexander welcomed the support from the state government, saying the funding will go part way towards meeting the needs of clients. And finally, to the United States, where a Virginia brewery is recruiting for a chief hiking officer. The Devil's Backbone Brewing Company, based in Lexington, is accepting applications from people who love hiking and beer to spend up to 7 months hiking the Appalachian Trail while drinking lots of beer. Applicants will face an interview as well as an unspecified assignment for the role, which pays $20,000. That's the latest from Joy TV News for Tuesday, June the 2nd. I've been Judy Kelly. Now it's back to Kerrie and Dolly's house party.
Oh, our wonderful, wonderful Judy. Judy, you are doing a marvellous job. You are no trouble, and we love having you on the show. If only that were true of all of our guests.
It's me, everyone, your community darling, Dean Arcuri. Hello, Dolly.
He doesn't need any introduction, does he? He'll do his own.
I do it myself.
Well, we've got to have you on. We were desperate to have you on.
It's so great to be here in the Kerrie and Dolly House Party studios on the couch.
I know. It's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting.
It's so exciting. I mean, every single episode, I'm loving it. I'm loving being a part of it. I'm loving being able to be your community darling and sharing so many stories about our communities here on Kerrie and Dolly's House Party.
You already were the community darling, weren't you, really? I mean, I know you don't admit that yourself. Yeah, he does. And, but...
I'm modest.
Yeah.
I know. You're not used to it. I know. But I'm very modest, Dolly.
We wouldn't want you to be modest. We love you the way you are. And, well, I've given you a few notes about changing, but you are amazing at what you do. You're really getting out there and everybody's loving it.
Oh, I'm so glad we've had such a great response to it. I'm so glad everyone's enjoying what we do and how we're doing it. It's so important and it's so wonderful to be a part of this show.
And not all of these subjects have been really jolly.
No.
There are varying moods out there in the world, and that's what you're getting into.
Exactly, and you know what? This Thursday we're going to be diving into something that's not a jolly subject again. We're going to be diving in this Thursday to, I know everyone's looking at what's going on in the world right now, especially what's going on in America, and it's really serious and we don't quite know how to handle and process it. But for Thursday's Community Darling, I'm going to be speaking to Indigenous Australians, so they have a space here on the show to be able to share what it's like for them and how it's making them feel. And we're going to be sharing that here on Thursday's show, which I'm really proud of, and I'm really grateful that we have this kind of a platform to be able to do that, and we can create that space.
It's needed, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It is needed.
Absolutely.
Now, what about tonight? What's on? Oh.
Well, tonight I decided to get physical, but from a distance. So we're going to be finding out all about how the Melbourne Chargers, Melbourne's inclusive gay rugby team, are dealing with training, because now that restrictions have lifted and they can do outdoor training a little differently, we're going to find out what it's all about, because it's getting cold and they're hitting the field.
Well, I mean, I know that you used to play left back, is that right?
Oh, and the bassoon.
Left back in the dressing room.
Left back bassoon.
Yeah. And because you were in the band, were you?
Yep. Somewhere low, very low below.
Yes.
Yeah, up the back.
In the wind section. All right, let's get you to introduce your own segment.
Well, this is, you're on Kerrie and Dolly's House Party, and this is my Community Darling segment where we find out what's going on with training with the Melbourne Chargers. Before COVID restrictions hit, the Melbourne Chargers were gearing up for a big 2020. From weekly training and games that saw teammates play and socialise, the team were getting ready to head to Ottawa in Canada later this year and compete in the Bingham Cup, the World Championship of Gay and Inclusive Rugby, which they won in 2016. The Melbourne Chargers were the first international team who were participating this year that announced they wouldn't be going to the Bingham Cup, even before the tournament announced that it was being postponed. And over 2 months ago, when COVID restrictions were starting to form, they were days away from their big 10-year anniversary celebration. but the committee made the tough call to change course due to the pandemic.
We made the call, a week ahead of the government that it wasn't appropriate for us to be out and about training. We cancelled our 10-year anniversary event the day before it was scheduled to happen, and that was a party people have been looking forward to for a year, and it was celebrating a really significant milestone for our club.
I've spent my life physically distancing from sport, but here I am tonight watching the Melbourne Chargers train in the beautiful summer Melbourne weather. Yeah, that's right, it's freezing. And Melbourne's inclusive rugby team are out now that COVID restrictions have eased up, getting back into their training and warming their bodies up. Let's find out what it's all about. While guidelines have eased up further for outdoor sports this week, I'm going to break down how the Chargers were training on Monday night. The club are divided into separate teams of 10, and they're in these teams for every training activity, even socialising. They occupy the same space on the field for every training, and everyone is keeping a distance of 1.5 metres. The only contact they have in this contact sport is with the ball or the ground. Plus, every team member's temperature is taken, and they have a hand washing station which they use before, during and after training to maintain hygiene.
We had to maintain, and we're still maintaining, really good records of who's been at each training session. So if the need for contact tracing comes up, we can assist the health authorities with that. And we're just really thankful that we're allowed to come back and play sport again. It's we might not be there with games and contact, but being able to come and chuck the ball around with our friends has made such a difference to all of us. During the 8 or so weeks that we were all put away in our houses, I'm sure everyone went through a range of emotions, from distress to loneliness to feeling safe to feeling really worried about the world. We worked really hard during the time we were locked down to support our friends and keep connected with each other. But it's not quite the same thing as being able to see people in person and check up on people, when they're in front of you. And, today's just a really nice day to be able to come down on a Monday night in the freezing cold, in the rain, nipples as hard as glass, and just throw the rugby ball around.
The Chargers are about more than just a game, keeping their sporting community engaged while in lockdown and physically distancing. And it's that kind of support that's been very necessary for many on the team during the past couple of months.
The economic part of this crisis has really hit a lot of our people quite hard. A really big proportion of our players work in the hospitality industry. A lot of people work in that kind of precariat style work. The economic crisis that came along with the pandemic really hurt a lot of our players really hard. One incident I can think of particularly is when, we had a call on a Friday evening from a player who had no money, had no food, and they weren't reaching out to, for us to help, but we established a little bit of a food bank and dropped off cooked meals so that this person could at least get through the weekend until the Tuesday when the food banks were open. And looking out for your mates in those little ways is really, really important. And of course we do that stuff for each other because we love our friends. Anyone who's come down to the club before knows we're more than just a sporting team, but it's really, really nice to be able to be so supportive to each other when really hard times hit.
A lot of the Chargers training sessions are about them teaching people how to play the game or to learn basic skills, so physical distancing gave them a chance to upskill all their players on game strategy and engagement. And even though the winter weather's come and they can't have contact yet, they're still loving getting out there, hitting the dirt and training together.
But nothing beats being back in the muddy fields.
Yeah, it's very cold, but it's nice to actually be able to see people again, even if I can't embrace them.
It's great, really missed it, and despite the very wintry Melbourne weather, it is actually just great to see familiar faces, get out there and get some exercise again.
It's a Monday night, it's absolutely freezing cold down here, but being back at rugby has warmed the cockles of my heart.
Hi there, Kerrie Dolly and house party guest Darren Purchase here. Make sure you jump onto the Fed Square Instagram page on Monday to learn how to make my latest creation, the Travelover. And because Dolly clearly loves desserts, Fed Square and myself are giving Kerrie and Dolly viewers the chance to win this Travelover and a signed copy of my cookbook.
Yum.
Rude that was about me. Very rude. But I love my cakes and my sweet. Well, I do.
And you've ate them too.
I do.
Well, we all do.
I love them.
I have had many a Darren Purchase dessert at lots of fabulous functions over the years, and yes.
Yes. Well, you can win one.
Yes.
You can win one.
How does one win one, Dolly?
Oh, all you've got to do is tag a mate. and write, your mates, the one that reminds you of something sweet.
Tag your
lovely,
sweetie.
a sweetie. Now that could be your mum, your dad, your sister, anybody
Lovely.
in your life, really.
Very nice.
Now they've got to live in Melbourne because they've got to deliver it.
Yes.
There's no point.
It might
living
melt if
somewhere
it has to go to Queensland.
No good. But isn't that wonderful?
How fabulous.
I'd love to win one of those.
Thanks to our friends at Fed Square.
Yes.
Very nice.
And the lovely Darren. Sorry,
Now-
there was a technical issue.
At least it was that.
Well, yeah.
Inappropriate. Firstly, I'm just going back to Dean's story about the Melbourne Chargers.
Yes.
One, they're fit buggers.
Yes.
Two, they play in the
Literally.
rain. Yes, they literally are. And I walked into that, didn't I?
That's what they said.
Oh, here we go. The rainbow socks.
I know, aren't they
Is
gorgeous?
that all I got from that? The rainbow socks?
Oh, no.
And also,
You also mentioned that the nipples look very
the
erect.
nipples were there.
When we were off.
I'm a visual person. It's
Yes.
the things that I
Yes.
see, and I also clocked the sanitising station, which
Yes, which is wonderful, isn't
Yeah,
it?
very, very
really
clever.
good. No, they're lovely, lovely boys.
And I did like going back before that, what Dean was saying too about being a safe space to encourage people to come forward if they want to talk with us, to share
Yeah.
their stories and their experiences, to help us all understand about what's going on. I mean, it's obviously the state in America is terrible, but we need to focus on here.
As well, yes.
absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
So we want to provide that space.
You're right. And what we think we need now is some music. Music always lifts your spirits, doesn't it? Not the shit that I do, but what we
Que
bring
sera.
on to this show. Love is in the air. No, not this.
You promised it.
I know. Ro Allen watches religiously and loves it when I do that.
Look, mind you, we do have Dean here.
Yeah.
Chandelier. Chandelier might come out.
You never know.
He's ready.
I saw
Okay,
something
good.
popping out earlier. What we need now is this young man, absolutely divine. Not only I'm going to talk about the way he looks absolutely fabulous, but this boy has got the most wonderful heart. He's absolutely fabulous. He's going to perform for us now. It is Josh Sanders.
Where have all the good men gone? And where are all the gods? Where's the streetwise Hercules to fight the rising odds? Isn't there a white knight aboard a fiery steed?
Thanks, Kerrie and Dolly. This has been fun.
Oh,
Man, fab on.
I know, lovely, isn't he? I mean, lovely. Good. Well, joining us right now, I'm very excited. Josh, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Oh, Josh, I'm sorry. I almost didn't recognise you. You've got some clothes on.
Yes.
What?
It's such a rarity.
It is. I went down the rabbit hole of your Instagram, which was very easy to do so. And
Yes.
and I'm a lesbian, but damn, I was impressed.
I always tell people there are more photos of Bigfoot than there are photos of me with clothes on.
Only just.
And if you got it flaunted,
Yes.
I say, why not?
No, you look incredible and you sound incredible as well. And where did you do your videoing? Where was all that?
Well, I'm very, very lucky actually because I work here at a theatre in Moonee Ponds, and so I sort of had a sneaky access to some pretty special space and equipment. So yeah, I thought I'd take full advantage.
Well, we've got a mutual mate at the Clock Tower in Moonee Ponds. I
do,
love that
we do.
venue. Love
It's
it.
a beautiful venue.
Isn't it? Yes. And well, what have you been doing? I know that you I went and watched you in you would have loved this.
I'm sure.
It is Sugar Babies, and oh my word, it is fabulous. What's coming on with that?
Well, unfortunately, we had to cancel our last season, which was going to be in 2 weeks' time in Brisbane for Melt Festival. So that was a bit disappointing, but I've used this time to write the sequel to Sugar Babies, which is called Infidels. And so we're hoping that we'll be able to get that up for Midsumma for next year.
Yes, that'd be
Fabulous.
great.
I mean, I haven't seen you perform, and I cannot wait to live, of course. I did see you and your Sugar Babies partner when you were being trophy peoples at the Midsumma Gala.
Extravaganza.
Yes. I know, each time was a costume change, each better
Oh,
than the
that was
other.
a lot of fun.
You looked fab. I remember saying to my friend that was with this guy, I don't think I've ever seen two more trophy people looking more fabulous
Yes.
than those two. We're like, yeah.
Better than a lot of the acts.
Well, when they sold it to me, they said, you'll be kind of like Adriana Xenides on Wheel of Fortune. And when I heard that, I was sold. I said, no, I'm in.
That's all you needed, yes. And what is it for you then when
Yes,
you're
definitely.
when you're getting all this together? Do you where do you lock yourself away?
Well, I'm very lucky that I'm still coming into work every day in this beautiful old theatre, which is really, really wonderful. So yeah, that's kind of been keeping me sane. And I feel so very lucky to be in the arts industry and still have a job. I count my blessings every day. I really do.
Yeah, and you've got another number for us, which is The Man That Got Away.
Oh,
Is that a little personal note to someone or just a song?
Oh, there's too many to count. It'd be a 12-minute number if I listed them all, I tell you.
well, we love this number. I mean, it's been done beautifully over the years, but I tell you what, not many men do it the way you're going to do it, and I know that because I've watched it. It's gorgeous. We're glad you could join us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure.
of the man that got away. No more his eager call. The writings on the wall, the dreams you dreamed have all gone astray. Has run off and undone you. That great beginning has seen a final inning. Don't know what happened. It's all a crazy game. No more that old time thrill, for you've been through the meal, and never a new love will be the same. Good riddance, goodbye. Every trick of his you're on to. But fools will be fools, and where's he gone to? The road gets rougher, it's lonelier and tougher. With hope you burn up, tomorrow he will turn up. There's just no let up, the livelong night and day. Ever since this world began, there is nothing sadder than a one-man woman looking for the man that got away. The man that got
Ooh. Ooh. I'm just saying what the people are saying. And it's a lot of,
I know. Thirsty is a drought on. My goodness.
talented and gorgeous to boot.
Absolutely.
And lots of you are
Absolutely.
agreeing. And I'm a little bit, some of them like, woo! But I think the lines so far is from our fabulous friend Nate Byrne, just saying, Travlova. Thank you, I can't even get it out. Travlova sounds great, but a Josh Brulé would do.
Yes.
He's being funny, isn't he?
Very.
He's pretty funny for a weatherman.
Oh. No, he's funny, isn't he? Oh, but what a performance.
Yeah, amazing.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
I said it before, and I'll say it again. Guess what I'm going to say?
I don't know.
Go on, you know exactly what I'm going to
We've had the giggles tonight, and I don't know which camera he keeps
There we
moving.
go, which
it's
one?
Like, oh, please. I just want my close-up.
Go on, give it to her. Oh, there it is. Oh, look, and I'm just going to lean into that.
Amateur. This is like news breakfast instead. No. All right. Well, we are. Listen. Each and every episode, we try to do something new. We try to bring you interviews that mean something to us as well. And I'm thrilled to be able to hand the power over to this beautiful
I'm doing
lady.
it solo.
You should as well.
Thank you so much. Well, this
Wonderful.
amazing woman is the founder of the Kindness Pandemic. So she's created this amazing movement that's taken off online. She's a researcher, a clinician, and an artist, and wears many hats, as do myself. But I'm very excited to be chatting with Dr. Catherine Barrett. Hello, Catherine.
Hello, Kerrie.
Hello, welcome. So nice of you to join us. I know you're a really busy person, but it's very great to have you on the show because we absolutely love your movement that you created, and which is called the Kindness Pandemic. And my first kind of initial question was, did it really take a global pandemic from a health perspective for us as a society to start to change the way we thought?
I think it did actually. I think before COVID-19, there were a lot of people saying we've lost our way or we need to be kinder, and I think COVID-19 really was a catalyst for a lot of people. It was really Agnes is having a mutiny.
They tend to do that.
It was, so I think it was a real turning point for people. I think because people needed that kindness and they needed the connection to each other. And so it really was a turning point for something that was that there was already a need for.
And it came about, the growth of it came about really quickly, with now over 500,000 followers on Facebook and continually growing, and people always posting. There's like over 1,000 posts per month. Do you think now that we're moving out of, I guess, lockdown for some areas, that it will continue? Do you think that the change is ongoing and long term?
Look, I would expect that numbers will drop off. But what's been really interesting is, we've lost a couple of thousand people to the group, but the post engagements have actually increased. And there's a lot about the world at the moment that people are really hurting on. The Black Lives Matter in the US and in Australia as well. And people want to be connected. And I think, I'm starting to think that this will be something that will continue. And we're certainly planning to keep it going.
It's interesting. You've got a great media partner now, and I know even driving home from the show at night, I'm seeing on bus billboards and so forth, like the campaign popping up, because it's a really beautiful symbol. So it's really nice to see that engagement coming through and people responding to that, like it's getting the message out there, not just through Facebook.
Well, if you mean, so we partnered with O Media, and so what they're doing is taking some of the posts and turning them into billboards, which is just incredible, actually. But I think there's the kindness and people knowing that we can be there to help each other, that we can be looking out for each other, doing good things for each other. I don't think it's something that people will tire of. I think now in particular we need it. We need to feel that it's going to be okay while the world sort of feels like it's still a little bit turned upside down.
Well, whatever our new normal is going to be, it's different to how it was. So I think it's really prevalent, more so than ever, that we do stay connected in that sense. It's interesting, a lot of the posts that I was reading through, people find it very difficult, not necessarily to be kind, but to talk about it. It's almost like a bragging. It can be seen as bragging. They go, oh, I don't want to brag, or is this an ego thing? And it's not coming from that. But there was an encouragement on the page was saying that, it's okay to talk about it because it encourages others. And I think I wrote down the term was appreciative inquiry. And I really like that term.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think really fascinating discussion, Kerrie, because early on in the piece, a number of people jumped in and said, you're bragging that kindness is silent. And there's actually a term called quiet kindness. And I'm thinking, well, maybe there are times and places for quiet kindness, but now is not one of them. What we need to do now is we need to be really loud about the kindness that we're doing for each other, because we want it to take off. We want it to influence other people. We want the kindness that we do for other people to let others know that it's going to be okay, and we want to inspire other people to do the same for others. And so that idea of appreciative inquiry is kind of looking at what it is that we do well. So the things that we do for other people, these kind acts, they do actually influence other people to go out and do the same thing or something similar. And so now's the time not to be quiet. I mean, we know that with, what's happening in the US. We want people to stand up. We want people to take a stand and to be there for each other. I think it's incredibly important, actually. And it's not bragging or boasting. And that's got to be very Australian of us to be thinking about that, actually.
And the gestures, they can be as little as I don't know, just reaching out, a kind message, or making a cup of tea for someone, or they don't have to be massive, big, grand movements, do they? They can be, small, but small things, they speak volumes.
They do, absolutely. And, one of my favourite posts was of a woman who said she was a single mum and she'd been laid off at work, and she was having a conversation with her son about that she was worried about what would be happening, and, that things would be financially tight for them for a while. And she said she put her son to bed and then came back into the kitchen. She showed a picture of this note that her son had written and had written on the table, and there was a 20-cent piece beside the note, and it just said, "Dear Mum, you'll pay." Oh. And that was her son's way of going, I'm there for you. And I think that, those little simple things, just knowing that we can support each other. And we know that in LGBTIQ communities, we know that when we've got each other's back, it doesn't feel so tough.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Catherine, you're doing such wonderful things with this movement. I know, delving into your history, that you also set up this Celebrate Aging, which I think is it's definitely something to unpack another time, but that's really amazing. There's so many really wonderful projects on that. So I encourage all our viewers to jump online and have a look at that. But Catherine, thank you so much for your time this evening. We're very appreciative of it.
Thanks, Kerrie, and thank you for the work you and Dolly are doing.
Our pleasure. All the best.
All right, good on you. Bye.
Wonderful, really wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah, wasn't she amazing?
Really lovely, and a very, very good interview, my love.
Oh,
really wonderful. Lovely. Really lovely.
Kindness Project. Yeah, just something that I really enjoy being able to speak with people that I, obviously have a bit of a resonation with or connection with, and I think this is such an important, easy thing for everyone to get on board with.
Yes, but somebody begins it, don't they? Yep. Somebody, needs to begin that process.
Yeah, and Catherine's done, as I said, so many incredible things. So jump onto the website, Kindness Project, also the Celebrate Aging. There's so many great things to unpack there. So yeah, check it out. I just want to read a couple of comments.
Yes.
Oops, turn it this way might help. Lovely. Seamus, Dr. Barrett is the real deal in many ways, and I applaud her for this important connection. So thank you.
Good evening, Seamus.
And Stephen from, I believe Stephen's from Adelaide. You're always watching. Thank you, Stephen, for joining us. Connection and kindness. Very simple and very true.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Each and every week, well, this is our second one, isn't it?
Yes.
We get the lovely, gorgeously talented Mama Alto to bring us a marvellous Midsumma moment. Well, we're getting one right now. Take a look at this.
Well, on tonight's Midsumma Moments, we want to tell you more about Midsumma's year-round presence and activities. Although the primary 3-week festival is held in summer each year, we work year-round to provide artists, social changers and culture makers with support and tools to create, present and promote their work. We aim to be the leadership arts organisation cultivating queer arts culture unique to Australia, with local, national and international engagement, leading LGBTQIA+ cultural conversations. Midsumma flourishes as an artistic powerhouse, investing in diverse LGBTQIA+ artistic voices to develop powerful new multidiscipline works that inspire, that share unique stories and build meaningful connections. Now, like many organisations, our activities look a little different during COVID-19, but in a typical year, here's what our year-round activity highlights look like. Opportunities that significantly contribute to Melbourne's arts ecology, such as the National Midsumma and Australia Post Art Award for Visual Arts, and the Queer Playwriting Award, held with Gasworks Arts Park, that identifies, supports and develops new theatre talents. Our dedicated artist development and mentoring programs, Midsumma Pathways, for LGBTQIA+ emerging artists with disability, and Midsumma Futures, for early career artists and culture makers. We'll be telling you a bit more about our artist development programs in an upcoming episode of Midsumma Moments. We host black tie fundraising events like the stunning biennial Midwinter Gala, next to occur in 2021 with a lineup of top-notch talent performing in a glamorous evening spectacular, as well as the Midsumma Pride March Bake-Off, where your skills in the kitchen could see you crowned as baking royalty. As we have adapted quickly to the changing times during COVID-19, Midsumma has acknowledged the immense impact that this crisis has on our artists, arts workers and creatives, as well as all of the members of our communities. During these challenging times, we have worked hard as a team internally to design new ways to be there for our artists, creatives, culture makers and audiences. We recently commissioned Midsumma artists to submit blog pieces for Midsumma audiences to understand and gain insight into queer artists during these times. We have also so far produced 6 editions of Midsumma's tips for queer arts, artists and culture makers in the time of COVID-19 as an online resource and hub for our artists, producers and audiences to keep connected, inspired and entertained. And we are always, all year, every year, developing special commissions and projects to develop, create, present and promote artists and their works. The most recent of which is our current Living in the Quarantine online platform, which will present the work of 10 fabulous and diverse artists on our website throughout June, including dance, poetry, digital animation, memoir writing, collage works, watercolour paintings and more. And with that in mind, tonight's Midsumma Moments artist is one of our Quarantine commissioned artists, performance poet Nikki Vevica.
This is a poem I call Alto Things. It's putting on lipstick with nowhere to go. It's dancing in fishnets with a glass of Merlot. It's putting on heels just to strut round your home. All these things that we do when we're on our own. It's a recording light on your live stream for one. It's eating in one go all 6 hot cross buns. It's telling yourself push-up challenges are fun. All these things that we do to not come undone. It's telling jokes on the net, it's pizza in bed, it's alternative timelines you run in your head. It's deciding it's high time you learn to bake bread. All these things which we do to prove we're not dead. It's taking a selfie with your bra just in view, or a day in the garden to weed, hose and prune. It's trading in Merlot for cheap Aldi goon. Oh, so many lonely things we can do. It's going for a walk just to spot autumn leaves. It's laughing too much as you scroll through the memes. It's making yourself endless cups of hot tea. All the things that we do when there's nowhere to be. It's watching your friends on Instagram Live. It's another mail order delivery of wine. It's shopping for a lawn vibrator online. These things that we do to fill in the time. It's on fleek makeup, which no one will see. It's finding a sad song and pressing repeat. It's your hand on your chest, just to feel your heartbeat. All these things which we do to remember that beat. Silly things which we do to remember that beat. Desperate things which we do to remember that beat. All these things which aren't right. The things that we need. Thank you. This is a bit where you applaud.
Oh, well done, Nikki.
We know you're watching, Nikki. Lovely to see you.
Really
Thank you so much
lovely.
to Mama Alto for bringing us some new artists that I've never met.
No,
so
me
it's
either.
very nice to be introduced to such amazing talent.
And you can always make a donation to Nikki's PayPal. Do it. Do it now.
Lovely.
Be nice,
It's
wouldn't
all
it?
about supporting our artists in this current climate and
Why we're
always.
around.
Yeah, right.
We are
speaking
ready
of.
for our next performer. And I love this woman. She is phenomenal. Absolutely starring in all the musicals and the cabaret performer. She's with us now, Danny O'Malley.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yet again, we get the stunners, don't we?
I know. You wait. She's waiting in the wings.
Darling Danielle, hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, look at you. You got some sparkles.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm, not busy, but wonderful.
Oh, well.
Surviving.
Survival, look, that's all we can ask. Look, I mean, the last gig that you did was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and that had to finish early. So that was the last time you had an audience?
That was the last time I had a live audience, yeah. That was almost 10 weeks ago now, but honestly, these 10 weeks have gone so fast.
Yeah, they kind of have.
Yeah, they do. I know. I mean, and what's not easy, obviously, is we can do as much to a camera as we like. But one of the reasons that we love doing what we do is getting that audience reaction, don't we?
Oh, absolutely. Just the energy that you get, and you just don't get it. I've even been doing some lecturing at unis and whatnot with kids on the screen, and just having all these faces and having no energy back, it's really hard.
Yes.
Any kind of conversation, you guys know what it's like.
Yes. Well, we got a little note earlier about our mic level that we're sometimes, because we try to make ourselves, we actually are in a good mood every time we do this, but there are variants of a good mood. It's not easy. And, your performance, though, when you work, I've seen you work an awful lot. You love the women. I've seen you as Cilla Black. Oh, my word. You love doing that.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I can't wait until we can start doing it again. Soon, yes. I hope.
And a little bit of Nancy Sinatra as well. The lovely bit of these boots are made for walking.
Yeah, we've worked together a lot. I've learned everything I need to know from you.
Well, I don't. Oh no, mind you haven't got a drink in your hand.
Don't give her that credit, doll. I mean, just she's going to run with that.
Oh no, I don't run, but no. But I like we've obviously interviewed quite a lot now since we began, and I love the show business behind you. You've got the lights up. That's gonna lift your spirits.
Well, as soon as shops opened, it was the first thing I did. I thought, if there's another pandemic, you never know what we might run out of, and I need fairy lights. So first thing I did as soon as shops opened, got my fairy lights. I'm ready for anything now.
Yes, if in doubt, get a fairy behind you. Yes.
Make it sparkle.
Now you've got... Go on.
I was just saying, just quickly, are you working on something for when you're able to, come out of all of this?
Yeah, well, I am. I've been focusing on my own compositions during this time, and that's been really fun. So I'm in the process of creating a new piece for when this is all over, whenever that is, whether it be a live presentation or whether it be online. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, that must be nice, though, in the sense that you're known for doing other women, as it were, and as are you, and a lot of our audience. But it must be lovely working on something that you're writing.
No, it is. It's really different, and it's really fun. It's been a good time to sort of reflect on what you really enjoy, and I think that being able to work on something, as you said, that feels a little bit more personal and authentic, it's been really fun.
Yeah, great.
It's been great. Yeah.
Now you've got one more number for us. Case of You. Where does that come from?
Joni Mitchell, one of the best.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure.
Really
Can't wait for
lovely,
your next number.
Take care. Lots of love.
To you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Just before our love got lost, you said, I am as constant as the northern star. And I said, constantly in the darkness, where's that at? If you want me, I'll be at the bar. On the back of a cartoon coaster, in the blue TV screen sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. I would still be on my feet. Oh, I am a lonely painter. I live in a box of paints. I'm frightened by the devil, and I'm drawn to those ones that ain't afraid. I remember that time you told me, you said love is touching souls. Surely you touched mine, 'cause part of you falls out of me in these lines from time to time. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet. Oh, I would still be on my feet. I met a woman, she had a mouth like yours. She knew your life, she knew your devil and your deeds, and she said, go to him, stay with him if you can, but be prepared to bleed. Oh, you're in my blood like holy wine. You taste so bitter and so sweet. Oh, I could drink a case of you, darling, and I would still be on my feet.
Wow.
Oh, whoa.
I know.
Everyone, I mean, takes
What
your
a
breath away.
voice.
Yeah, amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous, Danny O'Malley. And Danny's got a PayPal. Get on there. Do a little bit of money to Danny. She would love that.
A few of our viewers want to pick her up and take her home, just so they can sing to them.
Yes, the lovely Lucy Maunders watching as well. Lucy, why don't you come on and do a couple of numbers? Yes. Not now, obviously. You've left your run a bit late. But we'd love to have you on.
We had another fabulous busy show.
Is it over?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Really
As always, we'd like to thank all of our guests tonight for the performances and our wonderful interview with Dr Catherine Barrett, and for having our community darling in the house. Be loud, Dean, be loud.
Yes.
That would be Dean behind the scenes.
Get rid of him. That's the problem.
He's here to stay.
Oh.
That's all right. We don't mind.
What about on Thursday's show? We've got lots on. We've got musical performances from Mark Jones and Melissa Langton, and the incredible Michael Cormick. Oh, amazing. What a word! He's got such. I know. I don't know where that came from.
Where were you cello?
From my bowels. I think that was.
Kick them in, darling, and keep it clenched. We also are crossing to Northern. Oh, it threw me there for a moment. To the Northern Territory, to our new correspondent, Ben Gratz, also aka Miscellaneous.
And we're going to get all Adelaide Cabaret Festival with our gorgeous friend, the one and only Julia Zamiro.
But we just want to finish up tonight's show by just saying one last thing. Black Lives Matter.